Yo, tune in, we're here to spit, talking football, we don't quit. From kickoff to the final play, cracking brews, we're here all day. Three cats with a passion for the game, giving you the scoop, not just the fame. Every episode, new beer to explore, while we break down the score. So lean in, we're your weekly guide to the field where legends reside. We're the cold one, we'll ride on this football journey side by side. It's about football, but barely weekly. Cheers, we're clearly gonna talk those game day hits. With a beer in hand, that's it. From the snap to the end zone dance, we cover it all. Give you that chance to laugh, learn, and sip with class. Discussing tactics, not just the grass. Draft picks, trades, and all the stats. We're here to chat, to break through the facts. Each brew we taste, we'll share our view on plays, players, and what's true. So sit back, enjoy the ride. We'll keep it real, no need to hide. With football talk and beer in sight, we're here to make your night. It's about football, but barely weekly. Cheers, we're clearly gonna talk those game day hits. With a beer in hand, that's it. We'll dissect each quarter's tale with a cold one without fail. So join us, let's have some fun. Football and beer, second to none. So tune in, don't be late.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Beerly Football Podcast. It's about football and Beerly. I'm your host, Zachary Smith. I'm largely in charge. We're joined by the White Claw Man, and let me see those muscles, son. We're all ready to have a good time talking about the NFL draft this evening. Before we get into any of that, though, we really got to hear from the boys. How are we doing tonight?
So good. Amazing. You know, better than ever. It's kind of sad when we don't have an episode for 2 weeks. Kind of makes me
I miss you guys.
Makes me miss drinking beer, too.
Well, I mean, I have the other podcast where I drink. I got a little toasted on that one last night. So
there you go. With the Masters coming up, what a time to be.
The Masters is happening, man.
You got any money or any bets on who's going to win it?
I don't have any bets on who's going to win it. I can almost guarantee I lost money today. Because the early times went out and everyone was hot and everyone looked like it was going to be a low scoring day.
Yeah.
It did not end up that way.
I saw that kind of early on. I kind of quit watching after a couple hours. The lowest I saw anybody was like 300.
So I had a 5-pick power play that only one of my guys hit on.
On Prize Picks?
Yeah, on Prize Picks. And then I had a 6-pick flex play that only 2 of my guys hit on.
Good
I had one push. That wasn't the best day on the gambling tables.
Are they ever going to legalize it in Georgia? Is that ever
maybe? I don't know.
It's Georgia, though. You know, they're not very quick to legalize things.
That's true.
You know.
Trevor lived there. He would be testing out those Georgia jails every other weekend.
I hope not. I've heard that those things are loaded.
Alrighty, guys. So, Kerry, you didn't say how you were doing.
Doing lovely, Got a new chair in my living room. It's comfy. Yeah, I saw Trevor last weekend for like an hour. He came by, tested out my feet. He approved my chair.
Oh, that thing is great. That's
Great.
nice.
It's a comfy
Top
chair.
quality chair.
It's a recliner, and it's definitely a recliner. There's not. I mean, anything better than an above average recliner you could sleep in, but I could really get some serious sleep in that recliner you got, dude.
I just can't wait for a nice rainy Sunday to just sit in the recliner and watch Josh Allen tear it up in the football field.
I don't know. You probably should have got it maybe when you were in college or something.
Oh, not the MVP.
Alrighty. Well as it's good to hear that you guys are doing well. Again, I miss you guys every time we take these 2-week breaks in the off season. But
I was saying to Trevor, we need to do maybe this upcoming September when doesn't UF play Miami? We all meet up for a UF Miami game like last year.
Round 2.
That'd be great.
Round 2.
That would be awesome.
Who's Miami's quarterback? Oh, Carson Beck.
Carson Beck.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, I heard Miami fans hyping up some other guy. I don't know if he's a freshman or sophomore. That they thought there would be a QB competition or something. I don't know if
they just brought a freshman in who was like he was a top 3 recruit or maybe like top 5, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's supposed to be good, but I don't know if people just don't like Beck or.
No, I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to have someone ready to take the reins when Beck leaves, because Beck's gone next year regardless. So,
do you speak of Cam Ward came to Miami, boosted his draft status? We'll talk about it later. Do you think Carson Beck can come out next year and be a first-round pick if he's a big year in Miami?
I think it's possible. I mean, I don't know how much Georgia football you guys watched last year. He didn't have a great season, but neither did his offensive weapons. I mean, that offense was pretty stale. The wide receiver units had the issues dropping the ball all season long.
Yeah, we were talking to Trevor. I don't think there's going to be a Georgia skill player in the first 3 or 4 rounds of this draft. Maybe ETN in the 5th round. There's no real receivers.
Maybe. Which is like the complete opposite of their defense. I brought my top 15 NFL draft prospects. There's some dogs in there, man. There's more than one. There's more than 2 dogs in there. They're loaded up top. So
and they're loaded while driving too at the same time.
It's Georgia football,
dude. It's like every other weekend during the season. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's good to
like
play
you guys like hear about it a little bit, but like living in or like working near Athens and everybody around you is a Georgia fan, it's like, oh, this wide receiver got busted again. Then you just start.
What do you think?
Someone said, I can't even remember who it was. One of the members at the club said like, it's because they keep giving them these Hellcats.
Yeah,
Hellcats. What happened? I was like,
do you think just the leadership could be better? Something, anything to change it?
Nope. This has been going on for like 25 years probably. When Steve Spurrier was the coach at South Carolina, which wasn't 25 years ago, it was probably like 15. But he said in a press conference, he was like, I like playing Georgia early on in the year because we can always count on a few of their star players being suspended. And he's right, dude. Like, yeah, you can't go an off season without it. But, we'll talk about the dogs a lot tonight.
I'm sure we will. We haven't even talked about what we're drinking tonight, gentlemen. So we better do that before we get too deep into the weeds. So what are you drinking tonight, Trevor?
All right, I got 2 beers, one on my left, one on my right. I want you guys to pick, but I want you guys to agree on something.
Left.
That sounds good, Gary. Left?
Sure.
Okay,
left is never been
this one. Margarita, I don't know how to say that second word. It's a 4-letter word. It's either ghost or goze. Ghost? I don't know.
Ghost. It's ghost.
Ghost? You know what that means? Is that a kind of beer?
Yeah.
Okay. Never heard of it before.
I haven't either.
It's from the Cigar City Brewing Company in Tampa, Florida.
Isn't that where you go or something?
Yeah, it's in Ybor City. It's
either Ghost or Goss, but I think it's Ghost.
Gotcha. This is an ale brewed with orange, lime, and salt, and it's refreshingly tart. I hope it's tart to the point where, it kind of pinches me in the back of the jaw a little bit, maybe wakes me up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Getting a little pinch back there.
Oh, yeah. This is great, though. This is really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, this
Gary,
is
what are you drinking?
Great choice, guys.
So I started things out. I got a 12-pack. Wanted to get a little more exciting next few weeks instead of just my little beer. So I started out with some White Claws. So I had a couple White Claws already with Trevor. Pre-game. And now we moved on to beer. I got a Raspberry Springer Fruited Ale.
Ooh, that's a fun can.
From Yellow Springs Brewery. It is a fun can. I bought it at Trader Joe's. It's from Ohio. It does kind of taste like raspberry. I feel like I'm eating a pie, but I don't like pies that much. So
how do you not like pie, Carrie?
Well, that's pretty vague because there's a lot of different kind of pies.
Yeah,
pumpkin pie is okay, but like it tastes. What's the Is it raspberry pie?
Cherry, raspberry.
Yeah, cherry pie. It tastes like a cherry raspberry type pie, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not a cherry.
I'm a big fruit pie guy. I can't eat them right now because of the diet, but I'm a big fruit pie guy.
What is that pie? It's like it's red. And it's called something, but the second word is not pie.
Rhubarb or something?
Rhubarb, yes.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. Strawberry rhubarb.
Is that a northern thing? I've had it once in my life.
Yeah, it's like a northerner thing.
How do you guys feel about fruitcake?
Not a fan.
I've never had fruitcake.
Really? How about eggnog?
I don't think I've ever had eggnog either.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, what have you had?
Yeah.
Chicken tendies.
Milk.
Yes.
Pasta, chicken tendies, and milk.
Alrighty.
I'm finishing off some beers that I've already had on the show before, but I've got two. I've got one on my left and one on my right. I want you guys to agree on one. I'm gonna steal Trevor's little bit here.
Carrie, I'll defer. You go ahead. Whatever you want, man. I'm behind you completely.
If you're going left, we gotta go right.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
So we're going right?
Yeah.
Let's go right.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we're starting with a Seven Bridges Oktoberfest lager.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, that's a cool can.
That looks nice. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, this is a pretty good beer. I've had it already on the show. So nothing crazy about this. It's just a good Oktoberfest.
Do you guys remember what's the most favorite beer you've ever had on the show? The 3 years you've done this.
Wow, that's a good question.
Easy. This might be what do you call it when something just happened and you're
recently deja vu
bias? Yeah, this is probably recency bias. But that Dead Parrot, and I bought another one today. There's one in my fridge that if I finish both of these, I'll knock another one of those down. It's so good. It's only like 4.5 or 4.7%. But it's like, it's so good, man. We had some. You remember those those Oktoberfest days, Zach, when we were just taking down Oktoberfest? Yeah, you did last year, but a few years ago we had some good ones.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Oktoberfest. I don't know. I think like my favorite.
You got to say your mom's.
I don't have to say my mom.
Wow. We're gonna call.
She does make good like. Her no, it's not a porter. Her red ale is pretty good. Red Wave is pretty good. But I think honestly, just it's my favorite like type of beer. And it's like the perfect version of it. I think my favorite beer is probably a Guinness. Like
really?
I think it's been that way since college. Like my favorite beer is a Guinness, but it's not like a get drunk beer. It's like I'm gonna have a Guinness, and then that's like a meal.
Yeah, a meal replacement beer.
Yeah, a meal replacement beer.
Yeah.
His last name may be Smith, but he's an Irishman at heart.
What's yours?
Yeah, Carrie, what's yours?
This one, I think Trevor tried either a version of this or similar. The Down East Cider Donut Beer Cider.
Oh.
This is incredible. I've never been able to find these again. I found the Down East like regular cider, which are pretty good. This Down East Cider Donut was just incredible. I missed it.
Oh, donut beer.
I think you tried this.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah. You gave me one of those.
You know
Those were
what?
Good.
Another good one. Dragon's Milk Brewing. It's from like Michigan. They have a stout that was pretty good. And then probably one sweeter one. Stella Artois makes a cider.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
It was so smooth. It was so good. I was really surprised by that one. But I think they call it.
We like to keep it positive, obviously. What about the worst beer? Obviously, mine is the pickle beer. That was disgusting.
The worst beer.
As people may know, I don't have the best memory in the world. So when I'm asked to do things on the spot, my memory only goes back so far. But I do remember a few episodes ago, I had a beer that it was like a strawberry shortcake or something, and it tasted like a watered down seltzer with like not even a pinch of. It was
I
like
remember
a of strawberry.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah. I'm still a little scarred from that one. I don't think I've had like a really. I mean, maybe I had some IPAs before I actually enjoyed IPAs, so that wasn't pleasant.
I don't know if I've done it on the podcast. I know what my least favorite beer of all time is, though.
What is it?
So I have a least favorite IPA, and that's a Lagunitas. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
it tastes like Christmas tree water.
Was it bad?
I think I have done that. It was like year one. I think I did that.
I think I remember one of y'all having it on here.
And then this is just a controversial opinion. I hate Corona.
Really?
So, I hate Corona.
Corona Extras with the lime on top?
No, like I'd give me a Pacifico or a Modelo.
Modelos are both very good. Yeah.
I can't stand Corona. I don't know why. It just doesn't taste right to me.
A Corona Extra with a lime with some tacos. That's it.
Zach's in Georgia. He's not at the beach. If he's at the beach, a Corona would taste great. Maybe that's it.
I hated Corona in college.
You always had a ton of Modelos in the fridge.
Oh yeah, Modelo.
Yeah,
that's Modelo's like my. That might be my favorite light beer.
Is Pacifico Mexican?
Yes.
And so you've had Sol, right?
Sol, is that the one with the chicken on it?
And no, I think it's a Sun.
I don't think I've had Sol.
Oh, but Mexico has some good beers.
Mexico does have some good beers. There's one with a chicken on it that's pretty good too.
Never heard of that.
I also had a Japanese beer that was really good.
Oh, Japanese. Yeah, they have some good beers.
It was smooth.
Japan has good beer and wine.
I want to try sake again.
Was it in a
Sake. What?
Was it in a silver can, the Japanese beer?
You know what? I think the Japanese beer was the rooster one.
Oh, gotcha.
It was in a bottle and it had a rooster on it.
The Italian one we got, Trevor, is pretty good.
Peroni?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Also,
put a lemon slice in there.
When my sister-in-law and her husband got married, we did like sake. It wasn't sake. What was it?
Zach's always got sister-in-laws now.
Sake bombs.
I thought it was a different kind of liquor from Korea. Okay. Anyway, we were drinking Korean beer shots. So it's a shot of alcohol in a glass of beer. It's basically a Boilermaker. With the groom's father. It was great. It was a great time.
It was a good time.
And that beer was good. It was smooth.
You said it was Korean?
It was Korean, yeah.
Nice.
And some mead.
Oh, dude. My favorite alcohol is mead.
Really?
And it's not close.
Mead is good, dude. I hadn't had it.
You went to that Etowah meadery?
Yes, I did, yeah. I actually got a flight there. I was like, I just went there to buy you a bottle. But I was like, I saw the flight. And I was like, how am I going to know what bottle to get them, right? And, yeah, there was some very good stuff in there, man. There was, like, some mixed berries, some
Yeah.
I can't even remember, but there was some very good. I think
You know what? When
tried 5 of them.
September rolls around, I'm gonna roll up because we got a spot out in Arizona in
Really?
Flagstaff that we order from our mead company, and I'm gonna roll up with 3 or 4 bottles of mead.
Let's do it.
For that.
Mead man.
That sounds great.
Where I'm gonna be the mead man, and I'm gonna introduce all of you to the glories of mead. Trevor knows. But he doesn't. He doesn't know this meadery. This meadery was incredible.
He's not the mead man.
If you're anywhere in Flagstaff or anywhere near Flagstaff, Arizona, check out the Drinking Horde Meadery in Flagstaff. It's insane. I finally figured out what I'm going to talk about this episode. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, 20 minutes in.
We're going to do a game. Okay.
A game.
We're gonna do a game. I don't know how we're gonna decide the order, but we're gonna snake draft. Okay? We're gonna snake draft all-time draft busts. Okay?
Okay.
So you're looking for the worst of the worst draft busts. How are we gonna determine order? How do you guys want to do it?
Whoever has drank the most / less. I'm not like.
I was gonna say, Zach didn't want to drink. I was gonna say whoever finishes their drink last goes last. Whoever finishes drink first goes first.
Well, I want the 1-1 because the 1-1. There's only 2 choices for 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach's gonna have Caleb Williams.
Trevor
That's
Lawrence.
a troll take. It would be funny though. How are we gonna do this? Is Trevor frozen?
He couldn't take your Caleb Williams slander. Just broke him.
Oh, he just died.
I feel like Trevor left, he should be last. Right?
Yeah, Trevor left, so he's last. And then we're gonna rock paper scissors for it. Okay, ready?
All right.
So it goes rock paper scissors, and then it's shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
So rock paper scissors on shoot. Okay. Rock paper scissors shoot. Okay. Rock paper scissors shoot. I win.
Damn.
I got the 1-1. Trevor, you're going last, but you do get 2 picks back to back. You get 3 and 4, and we're snake drafting. It's 3 picks. Okay.
I can't hear you guys.
Technical difficulties. The village idiot. Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
But I can't hear you.
Why are you in?
Wow.
Then why are you answering us? What?
I don't know if I.
Kick me out.
I don't know if
Bring
you
me
do that.
back in.
I don't know how to kick him. Can you hear me?
We broke him, unfortunately.
Oh, we broke him. This is so sad.
Poor guy.
So we're gonna go ahead and start the draft while Trevor's figuring out what's going on with his stuff. At 1-1, I mean it is a 1. It's like a 1 or a 2 punch kind of thing.
Yeah.
At 1-1, I'm gonna take Jamarcus Russell. I don't think you can go anywhere else but Jamarcus Russell here. With
It's an argument.
There is one other guy who I could see being in the argument, but I'm going to go Jamarcus Russell there at 1-1. Kerry, you're up next.
That's fair. 1-2. I'll go to the man. If you didn't know this, if you tweet at this guy or tweet about him or anything about him on Twitter, he'll respond back every time. Ryan Leaf, the other biggest quarterback bust of all time.
Dude, I'm about to start trolling him. Are you serious?
No, like, seriously, even if you tweet about him and stuff, he'll pop up every time. You just call him a bust or something, and he'll respond back. It's pretty funny, actually.
He wants to argue. He wants to fight.
He'll kind of be like, yeah, but I've moved on and stuff like that. Like, it's not fighting, but he'll always be there. Kind of just accepts that it happened. He's like, yeah, I moved on.
What about like Kurt Benkert?
Kurt Benkert?
Yeah.
Did you ever actually fight with him, Trevor?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I kind of like that guy now. You know.
He's some bad takes.
He's got like a football. I don't want to plug him, but he's got some footballs that he makes that are like good in any weather or something. I'll plug him if he sends me one, but he hasn't sent me one, so that's enough. I'm going to talk about him. I'll go. What about Jameis Winston? You know, not an all-time bust, but
that's a crazy. That's way
too high.
Way too high at 3.
There's so many worse.
I can only think of a few. That's why. So I just had to get one off.
I wouldn't even put Jameis in like the top 2. I mean, the one guy we had on would put him in the Hall of Fame, but I don't even put him like the top 30 busts of this.
All right, let's say Vernon Hargreaves.
No, so that's your next one.
Vernon Hargreaves.
So that's your 4th. The 4th pick is Vernon Hargreaves.
Oh, it's a snake, so I go twice in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Vernon Hargreaves.
Okay.
This is turning out.
Awful.
By the way, vote for whoever's list you think is best.
Yeah. It's real hard.
5th overall pick just never did literally anything in the NFL.
I agree it was a bad pick.
He was so good in college, too, man.
Yeah.
Only thing he couldn't do was guard Amari Cooper. Who could? You know.
All right, Kerry. Second round.
Next one. Obviously, it's probably a bit of a recency bias. You know, we weren't around for the 80s and all some of the other ones, Akeel Smith, some of those other guys. I'll go with Trey Lance as my 2.2, 3rd overall,
That's
2021.
a good one, especially for all they gave up for him.
He was negotiating with a Canadian team, supposedly. I don't know how he got $6 million from the Chargers, but he's never going anywhere. Real disappointment was Trey Lance for all the talent he could have had.
Yeah. Some good options here. There really are some good options here. Trying to think. You know what? I'm gonna go with this guy because this is a little bit just a shit on Kerry and his team.
N'Keal Harry?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fair.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy that didn't produce at all in the NFL? N'Keal Harry's your guy.
And you know what? I don't get a lot of things right in football, but I was arguing all that time, get DK Metcalf, and they got N'Keal Harry instead. So the one time you don't listen to me, disappointing.
Never listen to Kerry, but it's going to backstab you one of these times.
Yeah.
One of these times, yes. You never know when.
Kerry, give me a bust. Bust for me.
Here's a random one.
Oh, wait, no, it's me. I get 2 in a row.
Oh, he gets 2 in a row.
And it's my last pick in the 3rd round because it's a snake draft. So I've got Jamarcus Russell. I've got N'Keal Harry. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and field almost a full offense in terms of skill players. We're going to go with Trent Richardson.
That's a guy that never gets mentioned against Bus, but like, yeah, 100%.
Was he like 3rd overall or something like that?
Yeah, 3rd or 4th maybe.
But like, I mean,
in college, that guy was filthy.
He's filthy in college, and you got to the NFL and you realize, oh, this guy is actually blind.
I think he had like one good year, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I think he did have a good
year. He had like a decent year. He ran for like 800 or 900 yards and like 4.5 yards per attempt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not insane. Like, he never had a great year.
But yeah, for how much he was hyped up.
Yeah. I mean, I was a big fan of him coming out of college, and he just never did anything.
Unbelievable in college, yeah. Wow, he was only in the NFL for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his best year was
his rookie year.
His rookie year. He actually never cracked 4 yards per attempt.
What was that? Remember he got like traded to the Browns? Wasn't it like, didn't they get a good pick back for him or something?
He got traded from the Browns to the Colts.
Yep.
Yeah, but didn't he get like a high pick for him or something?
I don't know. 2012, 2013.
I do remember.
The trade
I
happened.
think I was the only guy that watched this out of us. But the AAF league, when we were in school, that got closed down after like 7 games. But he was dominating that. I think he was like probably the best player in that league. He used to ball out. I forget which team he was at, but at least he was great in the AAF. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he
My
just
turn?
never did anything.
My turn?
Yeah,
All right,
Carrie's turn.
I'm going to do a 1A, 1B. 1A.
What if you steal my guy?
You won't.
No, you got to pick one, Carrie.
Pick one, man. It's a draft.
It's a draft.
Dude, imagine with the
Take
first
your
overall
1A.
pick, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward and Abdul Carter.
I'll go Deion Jordan. That's 1A. He's not very exciting. He was a 3rd overall pick for the Dolphins like 6 or 7 years ago. I think he played 2 seasons in Miami and then got suspended. 3rd overall pick, disaster for Miami. He's probably one of the worst pass rushing draft picks of all time.
Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is.
Exactly. He was a third overall pick, I forget when that was.
Yeah.
Longer than 6 years ago. But
I think I got 2, and one just came to me. All right, so my
Your
first
last one. It says the last one.
Oh, okay.
We're only taking 3.
Okay, I'll go Ziggy Ansah because I remember him being
so random.
Wasn't he like a top 10 pick?
Ziggy Ansah?
Yeah, for the Lions. He was terrible.
He was 5th overall.
Yeah.
Hey, he was the same draft as Deion Jordan.
Thanks. I was gonna say Jalen.
I mean, he had 50. He made a pro. How was he? He made a Pro Bowl, had 50 sacks.
Yeah, not really a bust.
Yeah, he's a bust.
Trevor did terrible at this.
Yeah, this is a bad draft for Trevor.
If I were in his position, I would have done more.
You could have said somebody like I was going to, like Johnny Football or somebody like that.
Oh, I forgot about old Johnny.
I mean, the thing with him, he was like 20th overall, but still, for how much he was hyped.
Yeah.
I'm going Stephen Morris.
Also, what about your boy Trevor?
Round?
My who? No, he's still in the NFL.
So is Trey Lance.
We're going to start seeing more quarterbacks have that Sam Darnold effect where they resurge in a couple years. Unfortunately, I think the next one that we're going to see is going to be Daniel Jones. But that's another story for another day. I still don't like admitting that. I don't like saying that out loud, honestly. I feel like Carey in 2021. But I feel like you should trade AR and just start Daniel Jones. It would be the best thing for AR and the best thing for the Colts.
You mean tank for next year and get a...
No, Daniel Jones. I say this with a heavy heart because I don't know how much I really believe this, but I think if he started all 16, 17 games for the Colts, he would be nasty. I'm sorry.
What?
Their line should be better now that they're...
What is happening?
Maybe not nasty, but like a percentage, a shade, a very dark shade of what we saw from Sam Darnold last year.
They don't have a bet. I mean, I really want them to... Do you think they'll get a tight end in this draft?
No, 14 is... Well,
you don't think they'll get Warren or Loveland? I've seen a lot of mocks.
Trade up.
Trade up.
But, yeah, I do, actually.
All right.
All righty. All right, so who wants to go next with their draft coverage?
I do, but I don't think I'm drunk enough. Are you, Carey?
Should we chug something before we go?
Let's all
yeah, I think mine's just...
I'm about half full, so...
Mine should be pretty quick if you want to get me out of the way, and then Carey can bring us home.
All right.
All right. A few honorable mentions. First and foremost, I got a list here of 15. But I wanted to give an honorable mention to 3 prospects. Kenneth Grant, a defensive tackle at Michigan, who was kind of overshadowed by Mason Graham.
Yeah.
Deservingly so, but he's a really good player I kind of got to learn about preparing for this episode. James Pierce, an edge for Tennessee, didn't have a ton of sacks last year, but I remember him being a beast on the edge against Florida. I think I remember him having a good game against...
Everyone was a beast on the edge against Florida.
Florida.
The last few weeks.
We got better. but we got a good one.
Wait. I just want to ask Zach on this.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many QB rankings heading into next season with DJ Lagway as the number 1 quarterback in college football next season. How do you feel?
You haven't. You haven't seen that many.
Trevor, I see him. I could pull up a bunch. For some reason, I see them a ton on Twitter.
I mean, he's very clearly a very good athlete. I think it's a little early to put him that high. Because what is he, a sophomore?
Yeah, he had the best deep ball in college football last year. But I agree. I wouldn't say he's number 1, but I would say he's.
I think he's got the potential to be there, but I don't know if he's there yet. Rumor is TJ Watt could be moved, and the Eagles and Patriots are in on him. If Philly gets him, the league should just forfeit the season. I think if the Steelers move TJ Watt, they might be the dumbest organization in football.
He just posted a picture on his Instagram story the other day of him running off the field, holding up a peace sign. Some other news came out today, but it was a long paragraph tweet, so of course I didn't read the whole thing. But yeah, I think there's 1 year left on his deal. So yeah, Pittsburgh would look a lot different just without TJ Watt. Like if they lose TJ Watt, they'll look completely different next year.
Like they got Darius Slay, they got DK Metcalf. It sounds like Rodgers should go there. It seems like they're going all in. Like why is it now? I mean, unless they're rebuilding, they're drafting QB, but like this is probably a better shot.
And roll up, please don't put that out in the universe that Philly might get TJ Watt, please, bro. No, we don't need that.
The world doesn't need that.
We don't need to see that.
No. Patriots, though, I don't hate it.
Patriots could do it.
That defense would be nasty.
Who would they trade for him? One of those. Don't you have 2 corners? 2 good corners? Oh, would you trade the 4th overall pick for him?
No. I'd rather take.
You wouldn't trade the 4th overall pick for TJ Watt?
No.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would.
It kind of depends on where Abdul Carter falls. But if Carter Hunter falls, I'd rather take a rookie on a rookie contract over a guy that has how many good years left? 3 or 4?
If it was 2 years ago, I would have done it, but I would have to think.
I would probably do it. How
old is he? 30? He's 30, right?
And he's had like 2 back-to-back years where I think he's missed some time due to injury. But there are some very good defensive players in this draft.
There is.
But they could end up like Ziggy Ansah and that other guy that Kerry named.
Deion Jordan.
True.
All right.
Philly has the assets to make it happen, though. Eagles have 20 draft picks between this year and next year.
I saw that. I saw a graphic of the picture of their draft picks. That's insane, dude.
They do need to rebuild.
Does it look like one of our teams in Madden?
Yeah, it looks like Zane, like the second year he joined when he had like 4 first-round picks. Yeah.
Every year.
Traded away all those offensive linemen for first-round picks.
Somebody's going to fall to Philly every year. There's a defensive player that's like either background concerns, injury concerns, whatever it is. Cooper DeJean last year.
It's going to be Malachi Starks or Nick Manwery this year, one of the safeties.
Every year. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Who you got next?
Me?
Yeah.
You're the one going. You just got lost in translation.
Wait, I haven't started yet, have I?
Yeah, you said your 2 honorable
mentions. You said honorable mentions unless you.
Oh, yeah, James Spears, last honorable mention, because it's just so hard to crack the top 15. Nick Manwery from South Carolina. He's like 6'3", 220 or something. He's going to be a huge asset for any team. Anyways, top 15 is starting out with 2 absolute reaches. 2 guys that I just kind of like. I called a shot last year with Mari Lassiter, saying that he should go high. He should be picked higher. And that seemed to be pretty solid. He was good for Houston this year. I'm starting out with another Georgia boy, Malachi Starks, a safety. I got him at 15 just because he kind of plays all over. He lines up and plays corner in the slot sometimes. He falls back. He starts at safety. And when you can start for Georgia, you can play well for Georgia, and Kirby trusts you to move you around. You're a good football player. I don't even need to watch you play. But I think he's going to be a guy that, he's not a top 10, top 15 pick. So he's probably going to fall to a good team. And just somebody's going to fall in love with Malachi Starks, I think. At number 14, A guy who was probably in my top 10 a few weeks ago, but the more I've learned about him, the more I've learned that others don't like him as much as I did, which has kind of affected me. I watched some highlights as well. He was matched up in a Georgia game against two edges that I have above him. I wouldn't say he held his ground by any means, but he tried. At number 14, I got Kelvin Banks at kind of a draft that's kind of skinny on the offensive tackles. And I have him as the second offensive tackle, but I could see him falling a little further. I like him because of his size. And it's just, a lot of teams need help on their offensive line. And
yeah.
Why do you think he's dropped a bit, Trevor? At least in the mocks.
I heard one guy on the radio a couple of days ago say that he just looked bad against Georgia. And, that's the more people were watching film. I went back and I watched some of his film against Georgia. He was not very good, but Georgia's scheming, the blitzes they were running, Texas just wasn't ready for it either time they played.
Now, I have a question. Was it a scheme issue, like in terms of the protection scheme, or was it he's not quick on his feet to get to the guy he needs to get to? Or a combination of both?
I think it was a combination of both, but there were sacks that he gave up that were on him that were kind of like the quarterback breaking the pocket, the quarterback stepping up into it. There were some that, people said he played bad and he got exposed against Georgia the both times they played. I watched it. I didn't see him really getting exposed. He's a good offensive lineman, but Georgia had their way a little more often than Texas had their way. And, Kelvin Banks is the best player on that offensive line. Of course, he's going to get the shit for it. But, it's not – I have two Georgia edges ahead of him. I had him higher. He's definitely dropped a little bit for me. But okay, so that's 15 and 14. So number 13, Carrie's not going to like this one. Dude, don't let this guy play tackle. Malachi Stark's elite prospect. That's what I'm saying. Nobody drafts it. There's 3 good safeties in this draft. Xavier Watts, too, at 3rd, 4th round. Are you kidding me? Anyways, number 13, Will Campbell, play and tackle. Don't let it happen. You go watch film on Will Campbell right now. The first thing you're going to notice is that interview where he was like, you got to work. He sounds like the white Michael Jordan talking about his work ethic, right? And then the second thing you're going to see is him lining up on the left side of the line, and the guard is noticeably bigger than him. He moves around okay, but I don't think he's big enough to play tackle in the NFL. If a team drafts him and puts him at tackle, there's some work to be done there. But if this guy can play guard at all, and I think, Carrie, you once told me about
people
what are his
think
measurables?
People think he's going to either be, if he plays guard in the NFL, he'll be an elite guard. If he plays tackle, he'll probably be average. But, it's hard to find even an average left tackle.
He's it
there's
says
something
6'6", 319, but it really doesn't look like that. He does
No,
not look very big.
there was something weird with his
Wait,
measurement.
you said it said 6'6", 319?
That's what it says on ESPN, but if you...
No, but for his wingspan and stuff, there was something with, his combine came out different than the pro day. I think the pro day was more favorable than the combine. So a lot of people were like, why is it... I know it changes a bit, but...
he's definitely good, but I think that interview... One thing, people fall in love with what they hear, and if he was meaning what he was saying, then that's great. He's going to be very good, but I don't know. I watched film on him, and I watched film on Mimbo from the guy from Missouri, and I think that guy's a whole class better than Will Campbell. But we'll get to him. There's nothing wrong with being a top 13 prospect. Shout out to Will Campbell. Number 12, another guy who has fallen down. I wouldn't even say my prospect board because this is the first time I've made one, but I just have him going higher in the draft. So I assumed he was like a 7-8 prospect because that's where I had him going in the draft. But at 12, I got Ted McMillan, the best receiver in this class, depending on how you feel about Travis Hunter. But I've heard him compared a lot to T. Higgins. He's got good body control. He boxed people out. I think he played either a year or two at BYU. Now he's at Arizona. His production wasn't as big. as it was at BYU at Arizona, but he had some nasty stat of like how much.
Noah Fafita's quarterback is terrible though.
Huh?
His quarterback last year, Noah Fafita, was terrible.
Yeah, and you kind of gotta, when you're looking at these prospects, you kind of gotta see where it's a receiver at Arizona. All right, who's Arizona usually playing against? He's playing against corners from this school. I mean, still, he's gonna get drafted probably in the top 10. He's got good size. He's got good ball skills. He's got good hands. He's just not super polished as a route runner. What I've heard, this is not as good as a wide receiver draft as we've seen in past.
Yeah, it's one of the weaker wide receivers.
What do you guys have to say about this? This came out like a week ago that he says he does not watch football and he does not watch any game film. Would that make you take him lower, or does it not matter to you?
McMillan?
He said he does not watch any film and he does not watch football.
I'd take him lower.
You have to watch film. Like, to be in the NFL, you have to at least have to watch defensive coverages.
Especially because in the NFL, a lot of what you're doing, especially if you want to be like an X, right? Which I assume that's what he wants to be, is a number one guy. You have to understand what defensive coverages are, because a lot of the time, as an X, you're going to have to be running option routes. So, like, whatever the defense sets up, you're going to play off of what they do. And knowing what they're going to do pre-snap is a big part of that. But if you don't watch film, it's pretty hard to pick up on that. So,
I think a couple of good fits are him. I think he'd be okay in Carolina, where they already have a young guy who's kind of they could kind of compete, go back and forth for that number one spot. Him and Leggett. Where else? The Raiders. LV.
The Panthers really seem to be high in their young receiving core. I don't know if that.
Who?
The Panthers seem to be very high in their young receivers, like
Jalen Coker,
Leggett. Obviously Thielen, who's the veteran there, but
right.
There's another young guy. But for some reason they seem to be pretty high in that group. But Bryce Young definitely just need. You think you get Tyler Warren, McMillan, whoever it is.
I would actually really, as a Bucs fan, I wouldn't like that, but I would really like that from just a fit standpoint. If Carolina takes Tyler Warren, 7?
I'm trying to think, who's their tight end? Ian Thomas right now?
I couldn't even tell you, man.
Oh, it's Tremble, isn't it?
Tommy Tremble.
Yeah, that would. Tyler Warren would be a really good fit. Yeah, they have Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders as their two tight ends, and Jordan Matthews.
Jatavian Sanders in the Madden League.
Jordan Matthews, who is still in the NFL as a tight end now. Do you remember him from the Eagles?
Jordan Matthews, the running back?
No, the receiver for the Eagles. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember
about Ryan Matthews.
He is now a tight end for the Panthers. Interesting.
Hey, shout out to that guy.
Yeah. He was there in the Wentz era.
Yeah.
He was their wide receiver one, I think, back in the day.
I don't know about wide receiver one, but
I think he was. They didn't have a lot of good receivers when Wentz was there.
That's crazy. Alshon Jeffrey?
I think Jeffrey came.
Yeah.
I think Matthews was receiver one for a year, and then they got Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey.
It was
on the Eagles team.
Who's that other guy with the three? It was Dorial Green Beckham.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he was nasty.
Dorian Green Beckham, and then
I'm pretty sure he played with Drew Lock.
And then Deshaun came back for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, the days. The glory days.
Yeah.
All right, at number 11, I got Jahdae Barron, who I'd heard about. I think I saw some clips of him at the draft, running a good 40, being pretty athletic. But I was very intrigued with his film today. He was pretty good. He was good down the field, too. 5'11" is pretty good size for a corner. He had, I think, 5 or 6 interceptions this year and double-digit pass breakups. Texas had a bad secondary last year, and he was a big reason for their turnaround this year, except when they were playing Georgia. But wasn't their defense good in the Georgia games? Were they relatively good?
It was not the defense that lost in those games. It was the fact that the offense couldn't move the football.
They couldn't move it at all, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my top 10 draft prospects ahead of the 2024 draft. Colston Loveland at 10.
Really? That high?
I've talked about Tyler Warren here and there for the past few months. I watched a lot of Penn State football. Probably the second or third team that I watched the most of in college football this past year was Penn State. I love Tyler Warren. We're not even close to hearing his name yet, but I wanted to kind of compare the two a little bit today, watch some film on both, listen to what people were saying about both. Colston Loveland's a pretty polished route runner, lines up at receiver as well. He's got a good idea of different routes and how they work. So he kind of rose for me a little bit.
I felt bad
for him at 10.
He had no one throwing to him in Michigan. He was their offense. Like they had no passing game. Like imagine what he would have done in an actual with the team with an actual passing game.
Was he there with McCarthy 2 years ago? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he wasn't as involved. He was still the tight end one,
but they ran the ball so much.
Yeah, because McCarthy is really good at handing the ball off.
Dude, what if he's just bad in the NFL?
I've never seen a quarterback more hyped up by a fan base before he's played than JJ McCarthy. Like, if you look on Twitter, Vikings he's the next fans like he's the next Mahomes like every day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, his job is going to be. He doesn't have to be good with how good this team is around him, but
he's got to be decent though.
Yeah, we've seen Nick Mullins, we've seen Josh Dobbs, we've seen Sam Darnold play.
Josh Dobbs is a good quarterback.
Sam Darnold's a good quarterback.
None of those are good quarterbacks.
Nick Mullins is not.
Also, I miss you, Joe Milton. Never should have traded you.
By the way, you praise that stretch that Nick Mullins had on the Vikings, and he was like negative on his touchdown interception ratio.
He's the new Ryan. Hey, he's your new backup, Zach. He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of this era.
No.
Yes, he is.
No.
That man will throw 400 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 5 picks on a daily basis.
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick only did that when he was a starter for the Bills.
Ryan Fitzpatrick did that his whole career.
That's fair.
Kerry, where did Joe Milton go?
Dallas.
Tennessee.
Oh,
Dallas.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Zach, are you happy? I'll talk about this a little bit when I go later, but Zach, are you happy with the Jaguars' backup quarterback situation? With Beathard and Mullins, or do you want them to add somebody in the draft?
I don't know why we keep Beathard around.
He must just be a good locker room guy, I'd assume, at this point.
I mean, he has been so dog shit every time he's entered a game. It's crazy. I mean, like, literally, I wouldn't put Kerry. I'd put Trevor in over CJ Beathard.
Nice.
That's inspiring, honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
But, like, seriously, he's so annoying. Every time he goes out there, it's just like, Like, sometimes you're like, oh, well, this guy can at least, like, run the offense. No, CJ Beathard can't run a fucking offense.
Actually, I got one more.
You went to Iowa, guys. He doesn't know how to run an offense.
I got one more Jaguars question for Zach. I think next episode we'll do actual mock draft for the draft. Zach, would you rather have Ashton Genty or Tyler Warren for the Jaguars? If you had to choose between those two.
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. Come on.
Yeah.
That's even a better fit for the Jags. He's a better player and a better fit.
All right. Do you not have Genty in your top 15? I know you're not a Genty fan.
Right. He's close, though. And Banks and Starks are probably not top 15 prospects, but I just like them. I tell you, another running back I do like, Travion Hendrickson. I saw a lot of stuff on him on Twitter the past week about his pass blocking, that he was like the best pass blocking back in the country. I saw a lot of clips of him pass blocking. I think he's going to be a really good draft pick too.
Bengals?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
If they can get him in like second or third round.
Mm-hmm. And also, somebody was saying, which even if I did remember their name, I'm not going to plug them. No free clout. But he was saying, like, these two Ohio State running backs, they're both very good. They take away from each other statistically, production-wise, obviously. And, like, everyone in the media takes that away from them. Like, it's a negative thing that, oh, they were arrested, they were whatever. But if you're adding one of these players to your team, that's a good thing. So maybe one of them goes a little higher than people might expect. If they do, I could see Travion Henderson
being that guy.
maybe not going in the first round, but very soon after it.
I don't think it's smart to draft running backs in the first round.
What about Gentry?
There's so many good running backs in this draft, though. Like, it's so deep.
Yeah, it's a very deep running back draft. I mean, you're basically hoping you hit a Saquon Barkley or like an Adrian Peterson or something.
Do you want Damian Martinez, Zach? He's not going to go that high.
I don't see.
Who is that?
Honestly, I don't see the need for a running back early.
You still want to stick it out with Etienne and Bigsby?
I mean, Bigsby had a pretty damn good year last year. Etienne had a down year, but Bigsby played well.
It could be worse than
the fumble issues. The fumble issues that were present in his rookie year seemingly gone away and transferred themselves to Etienne.
Fair.
So, and Bigsby runs hard. I mean, I liked him coming out of college because of his size, and it seemed like he ran hard his rookie year. He just fumbled all the time. It pissed me off. And now that that's fixed, I like him as a 1-2 punch. If Etienne can stop fumbling the ball now, I think that's a decent backfield.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind adding another guy. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rookie, although it would be smart for a third guy to be a rookie so you get that cheap contract in like the 4th or 5th round. But
with the way running backs are, I would rather have a rookie than a veteran.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's going to be cheaper, most likely.
And usually, a lot of running backs peak in their first 4 years, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would probably take a guy in like the 4th, 5th, 6th round.
Which, I mean, there's so many good. This Cam Scadabel is a Jaguar, Zach.
That'd be sick.
He's good. All right.
He's just a football player, man.
All right. Number 9. Definitely probably should be higher, but, you know, injuries happen. Life happens. He was playing well this year before he was sidelined. Will Johnson at number 9. I could see him going in the top 5. I could also see him fall into 15. But probably the most surefire thing at corner that we got in this draft. Although him and Barron are 2 pretty good corners that are probably both going to go in the top 15. At number 8 and 7, I have the 2 quarterbacks. I actually thought about putting Shedeur ahead for like 15 minutes, but I didn't. Shedeur, I'll talk about him first because I got him at 8. I'm hoping here that if your son is a quarterback, I would think the best person that you could get him tutored from outside of another quarterback would be a defensive back, because the defensive back stop the quarterback. So I think having the best / greatest defensive back all time as your father, teaching you everything you need to know about football, arguably, sure. I think I would just hope that he's just ready in other ways that other prospects just haven't been ready in past years. Maybe that Cam Ward isn't ready, but I think Cam Ward's ceiling is a lot higher. Cam Ward definitely has some things that Shedeur doesn't have. But I would just hope that that's the case for Shedeur, that once he gets to the NFL, the transition's kind of smooth. He's able to process things the way rookies normally aren't.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Shedeur his name hurts him or helps him? Like, if he wasn't Shedeur Sanders, would he be this much hype? But also at the same time, would he get this much hate if he wasn't?
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So,
where do you meet?
So I think among NFL scouts, I think it helps him a lot. I think it helps him tremendously.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because there is, I don't remember the statistics on it, but there is a correlation between like NFL players like sons and them end up outperforming wherever they're drafted or wherever they're taken. And it's the same thing with NBA as well. So like they'll typically outperform people that come out of college with similar or the same statistics. Partly just because of how they're brought up. But
I just found out today that Mason Taylor, who's tight end 3 in the class, probably like round 3 guy, He's the son of Jason Taylor and what's her name? Joy Taylor's nephew. That good old lass.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, right?
But it helps him among NFL scouts, and then I think with fans or with general public perception, it hurts him because he seems kind of entitled. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sure.
So I think you're going to get both sides of it.
And another thing, I'm not even going to put a pause on this, but I love Shedeur Sanders' body. Like, man,
All right, Trevor, make that a graphic, please.
like
I love Trevor Scott. I love
he's got big shoulders. He's got a big right arm. Like, I'm not saying to Google images Shedeur Sanders shirtless, but you could spend your time worse. All right, So I got the QBs at 8 and 7, and at number 6, these guys. It's like watching their film is like fun. Like watching these other guys film is like it's pretty fun. I know what I'm looking for. It's like it feels like work, a little like homework, a little bit. Watching 1 through 6's film is like it's kind of stimulating, man.
What Trevor's going?
Huh?
Trevor's going like,
Yeah, whatever that means. But
it took me like 8 seconds to understand what it meant, but
yeah.
Anybody in the next 6 names that I name, if you're gonna watch their highlights, make sure you got a cold beer and a warm bottle of lotion. At number 6, I got Armand Membao from Missouri, playing right tackle. Kerry told me today that a lot of teams that need tackles need left tackles, so he might be forced to flip. He's never played left tackle, but this guy is good. And when you play at Missouri, you play against a lot of edges that are really good. They play at LSU, they play at Georgia, they play at Bama, play at Florida. But no, I'm just playing. They normally don't play at Florida. If they do, they transfer to Ole Miss. But he was good, man. And watching his film was really awesome. He's a big guy. A few weeks ago, I really wanted Kelvin Banks to be the best tackle in the draft. He's big. The Texas line was pretty good. I liked a lot about him, but I watched Membo's tape today, and you get some time to watch him. He's dominating. He's big. He does his stuff. He's gonna be. I think he's worth reaching on. Somebody in the top 7, 8.
I've seen him to the Jets a lot.
But yeah, are they still starting Morgan Moses?
He's a Patriot now, bud.
I knew that. I didn't know that. But all right, so I got him at 6.
You excited about him on the Patriots?
I'm excited to get actual NFL linemen on the team. Even if they're average, anything's better than Walmart.
He's better than average. He's just old.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like
The right side of the line is fine. Just we have no left tackle on the roster.
By the way, I switched it over to a Dead Parrot. I think this is my favorite beer that I've had on the show.
Proud of you.
I switched over to a Beeps.
Sea salt and fresh lime. Man.
This is the most I've done like in a while. I got 5.
Beeps
beer.
I'm feeling nicey. Shout out to John Gruden. Nicey.
Nicey.
At number
5.
Wait, I forgot Mykel Williams. Mykel Williams is supposed to be in my top 15, and he's not.
Okay.
I forgot
the shout out.
But so I did a top 16. Mykel Williams is somewhere between 12 and 16. All right. Number 5, Mykel Williams' teammate, the other side of the line, the other side of the defensive line. Mykel Williams is good, and he deserves to be a first-round pick. He's awesome. But when you watch Georgia tape and you see the guy on the other side of the line, I feel dirty for putting Jalen Walker at number 5. Like, I feel dirty for putting him at 5. He's so good. Like, this is the guy, if you want to, like, I've watched Travis Hunter. I know about Abdul Carter. I know about Mason Graham, Tyler Warren, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Will Johnson, all these guys. But, dude, I watched Jalen Walker film today for the first time ever, and he's electric. He's the real deal. He's big. He moves like Will. He reminds me of Will Anderson, honestly. And I know it's kind of weird to compare a guy who's only been out for like 2 years now, maybe 3. But Jalen Walker should be.
I feel like your name's Jalen in the NFL, you're gonna be good. You know, we got Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Carter, Jalen Waddle. Like, you're gonna be good.
Jalen Walker is good, man. Passes the name test, but the Jags won't take him probably. But
no. We're probably going from Mason Graham.
Mason Graham, he's still ahead in my list, but everybody talks about Abdul Carter because of how great he is, and there's a reason. You know, I haven't said his name yet, but Jalen Walker has got to be the best thing that I've come across this past week.
Can you imagine though if they had the Jags had actually taken Aiden Hutchinson years ago and could have got Mason Graham and Aiden Hutchinson together?
Yeah, I like Travis Hunter, not Travis Hunter. I like
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker more than the average Bear.
Wasn't there a lot of trade rumors about him this offseason, I think?
Yeah, there was.
There were some, not a ton.
This is his fourth year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This is his.
But he's gotten better every year. Is that right?
Yeah. So he started out. He wasn't. So the big knock on him coming out of college was, yes, he had all the measurables. Yes, his size, his wingspan, his weight, how quick he was. All that was great. But he wasn't a super polished pass rusher, and it showed that first year. Mm-hmm. However, he's gotten better every single year at pass rushing, and he's still insane against the run. As an end,
yeah.
I mean, he's still insane against the run. I mean, Josh Allen had a production dip last season. But I mean, Trayvon Walker, he has gotten better every year. I think I still don't think he's seen his peak. I think you're waiting on him to peak still. But because, I mean, he just continues to get better. Yeah. And I think the better and better he gets at those moves, the more and more impressive he could be.
And he was pretty good this last year. And, Hutchinson missed almost the whole year. So,
yeah.
I mean, shout out to Trayvon Walker. At number 4, I got my guy. Every pick after, honestly, 2 or 1, I'm going to be wanting him to go. Tyler Warren, dude. This was, the best part. Him and Drew Aller. Watching Tyler Warren go all over the field, receiver, watching him block at tight end, watching him go out for routes at tight end. He was at running back. He was at quarterback. He's everywhere. He's going to make
I would not be shocked if the Jags ended up taking him.
Him and Brian Thomas would be an insane duo.
Yeah.
If Trevor Lawrence can't make that work, he should jump off a bridge.
Okay. But yeah, I really want a team to reach on Tyler Warren.
I think there's a decent chance that the Jags do, but
I feel like there's so many good fits for him in the top 10 because the Jets he'd be good fit for, the Saints at 9. There's a lot of teams. I feel like he'll go top 10.
Mm-hmm. No, the top 10 in this draft is electric, dude. I'm in love with these top 6 prospects, and I haven't even named the quarterback in the top 6.
Supposedly, this is one of the depth-wise, one of the best drafts.
It's pretty good. The first round is just straight bangers. The first round,
the first 5 rounds, you could find there's so many starter quality players in this draft.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks and receivers, which are usually the flashy names, aren't as good this year. But otherwise, I heard that the D line is stacked this year.
D line stacked. The tight end room is very stacked.
There's a lot of good running backs.
A lot of good running backs available that are going to be available late, so someone's going to get a steal there.
There's pass rushers that are not even towards the top. There's a ton of pass rushers in the top 10, top 15, obviously.
Yeah.
But then in the second round is just full of them.
Yeah.
So athletic freaks that you just want on your team to get after the passer. Princely, whatever his name is for Ole Miss. Love that guy.
Yeah.
He went to Florida, and when Florida beat Ole Miss, he tried to fight some Florida students.
Nice.
That was fun on the way to the bus. Yeah.
That's normal.
But number 3, I got Mason Graham. I was honestly looking for a knock on this guy when I was watching his film, but because I wanted to, bump him down a little lower so I could put Tyler Warren higher. But Mason Graham is a dog, good size. He holds his ground, whether he's being double teamed, whether somebody has a step on him, whatever whatever it is. He's holding his ground and he's making a lunge at the ball. Whoever gets Mason Graham is going to be very happy with him. I'm not super stoked about him, but it's just, it's kind of undeniable that he's a pretty decent prospect. And then 2 and 1, I'm not mad at you for putting these guys either way. I think these guys are maybe not head and shoulders above everybody else, but I think at least head, maybe half the shoulders, head and neck instead of head and shoulders. It's Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. I have Hunter at 1, Carter at 2, but I don't care. Put these guys either way. So let me go real quick. Travis Hunter 1, 2 Abdul Carter, 3 Mason Graham, 4 Tyler Warren, 5 Jalen Walker, 6 Armand Mimbu, 7 Cam Ward, 8 Shador Sanders, 9 Will Johnson, 10 Colson Loveland, 11 Jadae Barron, 12 Tet McMillan, 13 Will Campbell, 14 Kelvin Banks, 15 Malachi Starks, and somebody, Mykel Williams, is somewhere between 11 and 15. But yeah, so those are my top 15 and a half prospect ahead of the draft. I'm really excited for this draft.
It's gonna be a fun one. Do you guys want to live stream the first round?
We should.
I agree.
Should make it happen. We should have like a game, or do something during it. So while we're waiting, we got something to do.
Trevor's stance is live. All right.
On the clock time.
All right, Kerry, you had something you wanted to talk about. What are we doing?
You guys know I love quarterbacks. I love debating quarterbacks. So I figured, why not bring my top quarterbacks of this year's draft? Because I always get quarterbacks right all the time. I would never get it wrong.
You've never called a quarterback incorrectly.
That's true. But I've never done a quarterback ranking coming into a draft before. So I'll go through pretty quickly the back end because nobody really cares about the back end quarterbacks. But I got 1 through 15 ranked quarterbacks. I got the top 3 teams I think should go after him and what round I'll think they'll go in. So I'll start it right off with Trevor's boy, 15, Graham Mertz. I have him going undrafted, but the 15th quarterback in the draft. There's nothing exciting about this guy. A couple of fits I got for him. Las Vegas, they could use a backup quarterback. Indy, Tampa, Florida. He's a Florida guy. It's a fit. Nothing really exciting about Graham Mertz. Nobody really wants Graham Mertz. He's just going to be an extra body. So we're not going to talk about Graham Mertz anymore. Okay. Number 14, Cam Miller. He's kind of not sure what we'll see this guy. He's from North Dakota State. If you haven't watched him before, he's a runner. He's very mobile. North Dakota State has had a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL last few years. Trey Lance, Easton Stick, Carson Wentz. They're kind of for FCS. They produce a lot of quarterbacks.
They put out decent quarterbacks,
Yeah. I've seen him go anywhere from the 6th round to undrafted. So, he's not going to be a guy, but he's going to be a guy you put on the practice squad, develop. Jets as a potential backup. I kind of like him as Baltimore. Cooper Rush, a little older, just to develop as a backup for Lamar Jackson, put him there in San Francisco. Number 13. Trevor used to love this guy, but then he didn't cook. I got Brady Cook at 13 from Missouri. He had a pretty good combine. And that's about it. I don't really love this guy. I have him as a 7th rounder. Miami, I have Jacksonville as another option. Jacksonville can definitely use another couple young guys in that back of that QB group.
Yeah.
I would not hate Jacksonville drafting a QB3 later in this round and Indy wrapping it up. Number 12, another guy I don't want to talk too much about from University of Minnesota. I got Max Brosmer, another 7th rounder projection.
Minnesota!
Speaking of Minnesota, my number 1 fit for him is Minnesota. They got J.J. McCarthy. There's not another quarterback on the Vikings roster right now.
That's a problem.
I'm sure they're going to add another veteran, whether it's Joe Flacco, Ryan Tannehill, whatever it is. But, add another developmental prospect. Never a bad thing to have young prospects behind there. So I got Max Brosmer as QB12. QB11, I got Curtis Rourke from Indiana. He didn't play too great in the playoffs. I still kind of like this guy. I have him as a 6th round pick. I have him, my favorites are him.
A what?
6th round pick.
All right.
Yes.
A what?
6th round pick.
Okay, can you say it correctly?
Sixth. I like him going to Indianapolis. I think Indy can really add another QB to that group with Jones and Rodgers and Richardson, whether it's a late round. And obviously, if you went to Indiana, it's going to be fit. Las Vegas, or Minnesota and Cincinnati, also some fits for him. All right, let's hit the top 10. Let's get in more of it. I don't really like this guy. I don't know why he gets a lot of hype. Riley Leonard. He runs the ball, sure. I do not like this guy's arm at all. I don't think he's ever going to be a great NFL quarterback. I've got him as a 6th rounder. A couple fits for him. Las Vegas, Minnesota, Carolina. I've seen him going, whether it's 3rd round. I don't really.
Third round, Riley Leonard?
I've never really got the Riley Leonard.
He's like 6'5". That's probably why.
He's big. There was a lot of talk about him last year when he's back at Duke being a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, he won me some money last year.
Yeah. And then he got hurt, but there's no real seeing this guy as a successful NFL quarterback. CFL maybe, Number 9, a guy that was a very successful college quarterback. He's too small for the NFL, unfortunately. I got it as a 5th-round pick. I got Dylan Gabriel. He was very good at Oregon, but what does he measure at?
Tiny.
He is tiny. He is.
I would take a chance on him if I was a
5'11".
Shaky.
5'11". He met with Miami.
Kyler Murray,
who was my number 2 pick. I got Atlanta and Miami as spots for Dylan Gabriel. Michael Penix is the only quarterback on Atlanta. We know Kirk Cousins probably won't be there. They could add another backup for him. I like Dylan Gabriel there. Miami's a good development project. Do you guys like Dylan Gabriel in the NFL, or you think he's just a college guy?
The size thing just sucks, dude. But he is a good quarterback. It's gonna be hard.
Put him in Arizona. They're used to.
They can use the backup. That's fair.
I don't think he'll be better than Kyler, and Kyler is, better than average at best. So maybe he could be average one day, but I don't know.
That's fair. All right, number 8, a guy that's gotten a lot of praise. He won the national championship. I don't really love this guy. He's a big guy. He's got a good arm, but he had a great team around him. Will Howard, he did not have a good combine at all. A lot of people, like one of our favorites, Jackson Clark, has this guy going to Cleveland early on. I don't.
He does, he's going to be the
quarterback. I have him as a 4th rounder. Will Howard, Cleveland, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, some fits for him. I don't know. I just don't see him anything more as a high-end backup. I really don't see this guy's NFL starting quality. When you got Jeremiah Buka.
I forgot Buka, too.
Yeah.
He probably would have just been an honorable mention.
He's really good.
A lot of people hype up Will Howard, though, but I just don't see it.
Not
me, I agree.
All right, number 7, a guy that Zach Smith does not like at all, who he's talked about a 1st-rounder. I have him going as a 4th-rounder. I got Quinn Ewers, guy that a lot of people were not happy with the Texas. They wanted Manning. People thought he could go higher, but he just wasn't the guy in Texas.
Yeah.
I think he could be a decent backup in the NFL. I don't think he's ever going to be a high-end starter. I see him in spots like Seattle, Dallas, obviously with Texas connection.
You know who he reminds me of in terms of like hype versus reality? I wonder if you guys are going to remember this. Well, you guys are going to remember Sam Ellinger.
Yeah.
Hype versus reality. Another Texas quarterback.
He's more of a runner, though.
I don't care. Hype versus reality. That's all I'm talking about.
I've seen Ewers go very high. I've seen him go as high as 2nd round as some mocks.
That's crazy.
I don't think he's a bad mid-round development quarterback, but this is really just a weak draft for quarterbacks. It really is.
For sure.
All right, number 6. Here's a guy that's really shot up the boards. I don't think Trevor knows who he is, but he had a great combine. I've seen him as high as like the 33rd overall pick in the draft in some mocks, close to the 1st round from Louisville. Tyler Shaw.
Really?
Even that's how you pronounce it. I got him to go.
Tyler Shaw.
Show. I got him as a 3rd rounder, but places like Cleveland, Rams, Seattle. Zach, how do you feel about this guy? He had a great combine. He shot up a lot. Did you watch him at all in college?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a Miami fan, so I watch ACC football. I know he torched the Miami secondary, but everyone did except for Florida.
Yeah, Graham Mertz.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham! I heard that when I was peeing. Graham Mertz is not my boy, Carrie.
He was week 1. He was week 1 when you were hyping up to beat Miami, and then
I had to have something. Graham Mertz, no way.
I mean, if he had a great combine, I didn't see his combine, but if he had a great combine, then I could see why he would go up people's boards. He's got decent size.
He's like 6'5", right? Or not?
Yeah.
His measurables are really good. He's kind of older.
His measurables are pretty good. He can move pretty well as well. So it doesn't shock me if he had a great combine why he would shoot up some people's boards, especially because he wasn't on a powerhouse team.
25 years old, though.
Huh?
25 years old.
So he's an older quarterback, but I mean,
he's 6'5".
Penix, Bo Nix.
But I have seen a lot of people that have him as like QB3 in the draft. I mean, is that how bad the draft is QB wise? But still, QB3 a little high.
He's got good measurables, and he's pretty decent on his feet too. So it doesn't surprise me if he had a great combine why he shot up people's boards.
All right, QB, our top 5, starting to get a little interesting. I have this guy as a third rounder. I really like this. I think he's going to be steal later round. I think he could start one day. He's kind of a gunslinger. I got Kyle McCord as QB5 in the draft.
I don't hate that at all.
He really looked good. He had that one awful game against I think it was Pitt last year. He's got a really good arm. He's a big guy. I think he's going to be a steal for somebody in the mid rounds. Obviously, I think third is about the highest I've seen him reach, but he's a good guy. I think like the Rams, they sit behind Stafford for a year or two. The Jets as an option behind Tyrod and Fields, or Pittsburgh. I think he's definitely a guy that could sit behind a veteran for a few years, maybe give him a shot. I really think if I'm reaching on a quarterback, I would rather take a guy like him in the third round than reach on a guy in the first round like Miller or Dart.
I agree.
And he beat Miami. I mean, which isn't hard, but still. All right, QB4. This is one of the most contested QBs of this draft. I like him, but he's been very overrated last few months. I got Jackson Dart as QB4. I got him as a second rounder. I thought he was to be a great pick as a third rounder. Second, maybe, but sure, he is not a first rounder. Jackson Dart should not be going the first round.
So tell me why, because I would have definitely thought you had Dart over Milroe, but you have Milroe at 3, right? So what made you make that decision?
Good question.
I think Dart has a higher floor than Milroe does, but the ceiling with Milroe is so high. If it works out with Milroe
has the biggest arm in the draft.
Milroe just needs to sit somewhere and learn. If he can sit and learn, I think he could be a good NFL quarterback. If he starts right away, I think we're going to see another Anthony Richardson type situation. But if he can sit and learn for a couple of years, I think
you're going to make Trevor cry.
I would like to see Milroe in New York, the Giants.
I like Jackson Dart, but we should not be seeing him in the first round. Come on. I got him as my 3 options. I got Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, Rams, all behind a veteran quarterback. He should not.
I feel like you've had Rams for like half of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think.
Stafford's on the latter end of his career. They need to start developing someone because
he's got 2 years left.
Stafford's good enough to keep them out of early round picks. So if they can get some guy in the second or third round, it makes sense to do that.
And even Jimmy G's 30-something. He's not going to be your quarterback future. And
who knows what's
going to happen with Stetson Bennett either. I really think they'll take.
Depends on if they can keep him out of rehab.
That's true. But I do like Jackson Dart, but do not take him the first round. This is going to be a Kenny Pickett situation all over again if we see somebody taking
Kenny Pickett, bro.
He is, but do you really think Dart's worth a first-round pick in this draft?
No, but, dude, last year we thought Bo Nix was going to go, the end of the second round. He went, 12th overall.
Bo Nix was supposed to
that was because there was a crazy run on quarterbacks for no reason.
I feel like
to Atlanta.
I feel like these top 4 will go fast. Somebody's going to jump on Milroe and somebody's going to jump on Dart, too. In the first, 20, 25 picks.
I feel it. I feel that someone's going to jump on Milroe at 15. And I'm going to be like, what a terrible pick. You can watch me during the live stream. When they announce Milroe's name, I'm going to be like, oh, my God.
Hopefully it's a team that, already has a quarterback. But I would like to see the Giants get him in the second round.
All right. Kerry just left in the middle of his list.
Kerry's done. It's pretty okay. So
unfortunately, whenever I have to pee, I just stop every 2 minutes to go pee.
Yeah, I remember that about you now. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, number 3, I got him as a second rounder. And here's the weirdest part about this guy. Jalen Milroe. I don't know if Trevor heard this. Zach, I don't know if you heard this. So now with the NFL draft, they're only going to invite like 8 to 10 players to the draft.
Dude. That's like
going to show up, right?
That's like because against what the draft is. I thought
because they
100% agree.
They don't want like Will Levis situations with them getting embarrassed. So why did Jalen Milroe get invited? That it has to mean he's going to the first round, right? Like Jalen Milroe, a lot of people have seen him going to the third round. It's pretty much where he's projected to go. But he gets he's one of 10 players invited to the draft. There must be.
Well, I don't know. Like, what's the issue with the Will Levis situation? Like, I get that's kind of embarrassing for that guy, but also that helps build storylines. That's what sports is all about.
That's the whole point of that they lowered it to 10 people is that like they don't want people sitting there. But then they go invite a guy that's supposed to go in the third round, and he accepts. It's very odd, which makes me think Jalen Milroe is going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I think 4 quarterbacks will go in the first round.
Really?
4.
Because as soon as somebody jumps on the quarterback 3, somebody's gonna jump on the next one, like the next 7 or 8 picks, probably.
Yeah,
if that.
Well, it's just what happened last year, where it was expected that 3 quarterbacks were gonna go, and then Atlanta just out of nowhere from the top rope, pile driver takes Penix after they just signed a quarterback to a 6-figure deal or 9-figure deal.
Yeah,
that's true. And fits for Jalen Milroe. I think you guys would agree. I really do not think Jalen Milroe should see the field this season. He should definitely be sitting at least a year until he sees the field. So I get him going to places with all veteran QBs. Well, most of them. I got New York Giants taking Milroe in the second round. Sit behind Russ and Winston for a year at least. Las Vegas, sit behind Geno for at least a year. And I do think Kirk Cousins will be a Cleveland Brown after the draft. So I have him sitting behind Kirk Cousins for a year in Cleveland in the second round. All right, number 2, the order isn't really contested. A lot of people fight Milroe and Dart, but there's no way you're putting Shedeur at number 1. I got Shedeur at 2. It's a real question of where he's going to go. A lot of people have had him falling even out of the first round. I don't see him falling out of the lottery.
I don't see him falling, out of the top.
I'm not a huge Shedeur fan, but he's good enough to go at least top 15.
Mm-hmm.
My spots for Shedeur. First, I get the New York Giants. New York media sits for a year behind Russell. I think Shedeur should sit for a while also. A lot of these quarterbacks, it is not a QB draft. I think there's only one quarterback in this draft good enough to start day 1. And I got Shedeur, Cleveland, or New York Giants, a good fit. Number 2, this has not been talked about a lot. What do you think of Shedeur to the New York Jets at 7? Sits behind Fields and then fights Fields for that battle. They gave him a good, decent contract, but not a huge contract. Like they showed they believed him a little, but not enough. Shedeur and Fields. Do we hate that in New York?
Well, no, I don't see. I
think there's enough holes on that roster that if you're gonna pay a quarterback Field like they did with Fields.
But $20 million is not a lot for what
I know it's not a lot.
It's only
for
20?
a quarterback, but would you rather spend your first round pick on Shedeur Sanders or someone that's going to make your team better?
They should take Warren. That's the team I want to jump on Warren. Kerry, so you said that you like them at 7. Shedeur Sanders maybe 7 to the Jets. How about a pick earlier, the Raiders at 6? Or do you think they just kind of
talked about a lot? But Geno got what, 2 years, $85 million. I feel like they're going to try to go in.
Is it Atlanta 2.0 though?
It's only 2 years.
But I feel like they'll go it. I think they're going to get either Genty or Warren or McMillan or somebody that's going to get them all in this.
I think they're like what Zach was saying, like a team that has to cover holes. I think the Raiders even more like the Raiders.
Raiders have a good roster.
They're at 6. They're definitely going to be tempted, but they have more holes to fill.
I mean, but Raiders have a good line. They have a good defense. They have a great tight end. Geno is a decent enough quarterback. They need wide receiver and running back help, but they could be a playoff team. In
the AFC, the Raiders.
Yeah.
So they'd be better than.
What? They're 2 years removed from a playoff run.
Dude, they got the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos in that division. They're not going to the playoffs.
There's also the South, the East, and the North.
Exactly.
That are not good.
In the AFC?
Yeah.
We're talking about, okay, but they can't win that division.
Okay,
They're not a top 2.
But how many teams play?
Not even close.
You sure?
Yeah, the Raiders, not even close to a top 2 wild card team.
We got the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Steelers, like the Jaguars, the Titans.
I would
These
say
teams aren't scary. The
Texans,
whole AFC South.
Colts,
Sorry,
Bengals,
Zach.
Chargers.
The AFC isn't that good. The NFC is better than the AFC, honestly. The quarterbacks are better than the AFC. The NFC is better.
Yeah, the NFC is nice.
Also,
they got more complete teams in the NFC.
This is the latest one. Shador to New Orleans kind of makes sense.
I hope that doesn't happen.
They need culture change. Derek Carr's definitely his last year there. The other one, which came out yesterday, he visited with them today, is Shador to the Steelers. He'd either have to drop or they have to trade up. What do you think of Shador in Pittsburgh?
That would be an awesome situation for him. The only negative is that it's the AFC North, and I would not want to be a rookie in the AFC North starting. But, I mean, hey, it could be worse. Their offensive line.
Do you think he would start? Would he start day one?
I mean, I don't see a scenario where Kenny Pickett starts for more than like 4 or 5 weeks.
But if they get Aaron Rodgers, and
not Kenny Pickett,
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph, yeah.
Sanders said today he would be fine to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think them drafting Sanders would get Rodgers out of the way. But
yeah, I don't know.
All right. And last one, pretty easy. Cam Ward, best quarterback in drafts. He's the only one ready to start day one. It would be a shocker if he doesn't go to Tennessee. I think if he didn't, obviously Cleveland Giants would scrap him up.
I pray to God every day that the Giants will get.
I think that the Giants would be a playoff team with Cam Ward.
Yeah, I could see that.
I pray to God every day.
I want them to get Shador, honestly, but I feel like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter to the Giants is like too amazing to pass up. But I would love to.
Do you think we'll see a trade down? Anybody trade down in the top 5 or no?
Nah, probably. Well, who's got the fort now? I don't.
I've heard they don't think there's going to be a lot of trades this year because there's so many players.
I mean, the top 4 players, top 5 players are just so nasty. I wouldn't.
Definitely.
It's fair.
All right, let me just run through them one more time. My top 15 quarterbacks in the drafts. I got Graham Mertz at 15, Cam Miller 14, Brady Cook 13, Max Brosmer 12, Curtis Rourke 11, Riley Leonard 10, Dylan Gabriel 9, Will Howard 8, Quinn Ewers 7, Tyler Schaff 6, Kyle McCord 5, Jackson Dart 4, Jalen Milroe 3, Shador Sanders 2, and Cam Ward 1.
All righty. Anything else you guys want to add before we sign off tonight?
If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Beerly Football, as well as our brothers, our Beerly brothers, our brothers in beer at the Beerly Hockey Podcast. It's almost the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. So if anybody is a hockey fan or maybe looking to get into hockey, drink some beer, watch some playoff hockey, check them out. They're Beerly Hockey on Twitter and anywhere you can find your podcasts. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys check out Beerly Out of Bounds if you guys are into golf at all. Obviously, it's Masters week. Big week in the game of golf. We're going to be doing a live stream Friday night talking about the cut line. Just a short little show. But if you guys are interested in that and want to tune in, you can do that tomorrow night. Last but not least, make sure you guys check out the Twitter because we will be putting a poll up to decide who the winner of that all-time bus draft was. I have a feeling I know who it's not. But shout out to Trevor. Want to thank you guys for watching, or if you're listening to this at a later date, then listening and tuning in.